Okay, so hi everybody. Thank you for listening to the webinar I'm about to do based on video interviewing. So, who am I? So, my name is Gary Robinson. I am the sales director for Cast UK. I've been with the business now for over 11 years. My background prior to coming into Cast UK, I spent 10 years in 3PL logistics on the retail side of logistics, covering both warehouse and distribution. I then moved over to the dark side of recruitment because I quite like the logistics market. Didn't necessarily want to be in a day-to-day, but did enjoy the hiring of talent and watching the teams grow inside of logistics. So I've been with the business now here at Cast UK for just over 11 years. My role has moved on from recruiting for logistics roles to overseeing all of our divisions here, which cover our warehouse and distribution recruitment, our buying and merchandising, our procurement, supply chain, and our HR recruitment. The webinar today is based on some industry stats. It's also based on my experience of video interviewing over the last couple of years. So here at Cast UK, we have been doing video interviewing since October 2017. So almost 2 years in for that. So we've got a good idea of what works and what doesn't work, and I hopefully will be able to talk you through that today. What we will cover off in the webinar today is some of the vital stats. Is video usage for you in your business or you as a candidate? What are the pros and cons? Look at some of the benefits of it. And a question we often get asked is, if we're going to go down this route, do we look at solo video interviewing, or do we look at two-way video interviewing? So hopefully I'll be able to answer some questions on that for you today as well. So a few video interviewing stats. So anybody who knows me or any members of my team will tell you that I like a good stat. They're usually my own, but I've referenced a few different organisations and membership bodies here today for the stats on video interviewing. So video interviewing has increased. I think that is of no surprise. And it's gone from 30% in 2013 to 53% in 2017 for recruitment processes. Compare that to 56% to 65% increase for telephone interviews. As the CIPD is showing us there, that has jumped, or the video interviewing side of it has jumped up significantly. I also look at those stats and I go, okay, well, they're from 2017. So that would be the year, as I've already mentioned, when Cast UK started doing video interviewing, and we've seen more and more businesses, whether that be recruitment businesses, internal recruitment teams, HR teams, line managers, jumping onto the video interviewing craze now. I expect those numbers, when they're released again, to jump up significantly. Another stat there, this time from Career Builder, tells us that 2 out of 3 candidates will wait less than 2 weeks to hear back from an employer before considering them to be a lost cause. And then they will move on to other opportunities within the market, within their own pipeline of career opportunities. A fact I would wholeheartedly agree with. And the reason for that, again, bring it back to my own personal experiences here at Cast UK. Biggest reason we lose candidates on interview processes is just the time. Really good candidates on the market today will often have 2 to 3 different opportunities on the go. And also, that is the first insight into your business from a candidate. So if they don't necessarily know your business, they don't know your culture on site, what will determine their interest in you is how fluid was that interview process, that recruitment process, how on point was it, how professional was it, how timely was it. If that's not a good start for the candidate, probably not going to choose your opportunity over some of the others that they have. Another stat we've got here is 46% of candidates who withdrew from a recruitment process was on the grounds of a bad experience. And this is often to do with disrespecting time during the interview process. So again, the same reason, but a different source here for the stats. And then the final stat we've got is 41% of people believe a lengthy recruitment process led to the loss of potential recruits in the last 12 months. So again, this has come from the CIPD, and this is clearly referring to employers rather than employees. So employers are telling the CIPD when surveyed that they've lost potential recruits because of a lengthy recruitment process. Typically in perm recruitment, you would see a recruitment process last anywhere up to 6 weeks. With the use of video interviewing, that can be significantly reduced just purely through the ease of availability for both candidates and employers as well. Okay, so moving on. Should you use video interview? So a bit of a look at the pros and cons to video interviewing. So I'm a positive person, so I always like to start with the pros first. So big thing for me, and a big selling point that I will pitch to customers, but also customers clearly want to hear, it saves time and money for both parties. So from the client side of that, from the employer side, if I can tell an employer that you can reduce your recruitment length by 67% when using video interviews, then surely that's got to be a good thing. For myself and my team here, our role every day, all day every day, is recruitment. For most of our customers, for most employers out there, recruitment is, to be honest, seen as a necessary evil. They want to get on with running their HR department, running their distribution operations, running their buying and merchandising teams. Recruitment is a necessary evil, where if you can still do that in depth, but saving 6-7% of the time, then that's got to be a good thing. From the candidate point of view, again, candidates trying to get time off work, if you're looking for a new role, can be very time consuming, particularly if you're in 2 to 3 different processes or have 2 to 3 interview stages. That's quite a difficult thing to do. So it absolutely saves you time. Another point there, it can help improve the candidate experience and even attract top talent. So one of the things I'm seeing with I'd say the senior end of the market, but clearly the middle end of the market as well, is candidates today are more tech savvy. They're more digital savvy. Their wants and needs are changing. And rather than have to go to a site, to a hotel, to interview for a couple of hours, if they can do that using tech, online, on the mobile, on the tablet, that is a big draw to a business as well. You can rule candidates in or out for culture fit early on. And again, I think this is something that I'm often questioned on. Is that right? Is that wrong? Should you be able to video interview a candidate and dismiss them based on culture fit from a video interview? Is that not biased? And I can see the point on that. Well, what I would say is, at some point during that interview process, you will meet a line manager, an employer, face to face. Likewise, for the candidate, you will see that employer. You might not think they fit with what you want in your next role. So I don't think it is biased in any way to do video interviews. I do think it helpfully addresses culture fit, and also that is a big time saving, because if either party doesn't work, candidate or employer, you may as well call time on that earlier. And then the final point on that is structured interviews lead to better hiring decisions. I would 100% agree. And you can do that by reviewing interviews as a team. So certainly the technology we use here at Cast UK is we can have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 unlimited numbers of our people, if needed, watching a candidate's video interview. Our customers can access that as well using the tech. But it helps people, rather than trying to get 10 decision makers in a room, or realistically 2 to 3 decision makers in a room, you can each watch a video interview, different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and make your decisions on it. So certainly a number of pros for video interviewing. As we move on to the cons, internet connection issues and picture quality. This is tech. At the end of the day, there will always be some issues. We're running off either 4G or 5G as we're seeing it now. We're running off Wi-Fi. So there can be sometimes issues. Fortunately for ourselves, we've got a good tech team in place, as a number of other providers may have as well. So they can be easily and quickly rectified, but something just to bear in mind. Some candidates may be nervous speaking into a camera, and I will wholeheartedly agree with that point as well. So some people just don't see that as a natural fit for them. Some people are not interested in tech. Some people have never done a video interview before, and I get that. So I would always caveat that with an employer, and I always say you may not see the true reflection of a candidate just from one video interview. However, what you should see is enough to get your interest, or enough to make your decision on, yes, I think this person is worth bringing in for a face-to-face. Potential discrimination traps, as I've alluded to before with the pros. The whole culture piece, I think, I've covered that off. potential discrimination traps. What video interviewing does not do is do anything differently than what face-to-face interviewing does. If an employer is going to be discriminatory, or if a candidate is, that is going to happen as part of the process. It's not right, and people should be wary of that. But video interviewing, in my opinion personally, doesn't do anything to further increase that. But it's just something to be mindful of, and you can see that from your analytics as well. So I'll cover analytics off shortly. But if a person clicks on a video and is turned it off instantly because they don't like something about that person, if they're doing that repeatedly, that will show you in your analytics. So as an employer, you can be wary of that. And then point 5, on the cons, the best video interviewing software can be costly, which it can. So what I would say is, if you are going to look around at video tech, do your research. Most consumers now, when buying any product, whether it be business related or personal related, are often online. They're sense checking, they're getting referrals, they're looking at reviews. So again, I would 100% do that. I'd even ask your potential provider to come and demo it for you as well. Okay, so another question I'm often asked with video interviewing is one-way, two-way, or even multi-way video interviewing. So you may be thinking, wow, what is the difference with all of that? So let me talk you through that. So one-way video interviewing, or solo video interviewing, is, as I often refer to it as, is a candidate in front of the screen with the questions pop up on the screen. They press enter for every new question. The candidate would typically read out the question and then answer it. It's quite an impersonal way of doing a video interview. I would not recommend it for mid to senior hires because I don't think it works. What I would potentially use it for is large scale recruitment, potentially a lower level. So if you are recruiting 10, 15, 20, 30 hires, you can very easily populate a solo video interviewing setup with your 3, 4, 5 questions and get the candidates to ask them, or answer them rather, and that will give you a good insight, but certainly not my preferred method of interviewing at all. So moving on to two-way video interviewing. So this is my preferred method. So generally it's the best approach that we hear in the market from both candidates and our customers as well. And it enables the interviewer and interviewee to build a rapport. And I think that's really, really important if you're looking to get the best out of a video interview. I generally would always encourage people to open up with a bit of small talk. How's your day been? What are you up to at the weekend? Just to make that person feel relaxed. Because once they're into the conversation, once it's underway, they often forget. They often forget they're on video and they become their natural selves. And then multi-way video interviewing. So again, certainly, I'm not sure this is available with all tech in the market, but certainly the products we use, we could have 3, 4, 5, 6 people jump in on a video call. Is it worthwhile doing that? I think it can become very congested. I think you will have people over talking with each other. Someone's signal is often bad if you're using 5 or 6 people at once. I just think it makes it a little bit more difficult. However, possibly good for the senior level hires if there's a sense check decision to be made and you possibly want to get some of your board members around. It could be an idea to use, but again, I would go with two-way video interviewing there. Okay, so the best stage to use video interviews at. Generally, I would say the best time to do that is at first stage. So for me, I don't see anything replacing the initial CV and telephone screen, whether that be a recruiter doing it, a HR manager, a line manager. I think that initial CV run through, telephone screening is key. From that, certainly my team here will gauge if that person then is hitting the mark enough to undergo a video interview. And I would have that video interview as the first stage, and I would have that 10 to 15 minutes long. So that would be my preferred time of the process to use it. But it can also be used as a final sense check. So if you're looking to sign off or senior stakeholders want to be involved in the recruitment process towards the end, but they don't necessarily need a full interview or full hour with that person, jump on a video interview. That can be signed off in as little as 5 to 10 minutes. I would 100% advise people not to use video interviews to replace an entire process, which I think needs to be including face-to-face interviews. So I personally would never recruit anyone for my business unless they have met me face-to-face, or certainly met some of my team face-to-face. The reason for that is you need to shake somebody's hand, you need to look into the whites of their eyes, you need to assess them for full personality, full culture fit into your business. Do they get on with you? And vice versa. You can do some of that on the video interview, but certainly you can't beat face-to-face. The video interviewing should only be used, in my opinion, to initially screen and help streamline an interview process. One caveat to that possibly, I've put in the presentation here, is for contractors. So contractors, as I've experienced, can be very, very quick hires and could utilise the video interviewing certainly. Most of the contractors that we would place often do work interviews anyway on site after that initial video screen. Okay, so best practice and top tips. So for me, I would certainly keep it short and sweet. I 100% recommend only to do a video interview for somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes, absolute maximum. As I say, the video interview is not designed to replace a full face-to-face interview. It's purely there to go, has this candidate got enough about them that will fit into my business? Have they demonstrated in that short space of time the personality, the skill set and the profile I'm looking for to add to my business? And likewise for the candidate needs to be sure that, could I see myself working for this person? And in 10 to 15 minutes you will absolutely gauge that. It takes away that gut feel that we often have when we meet someone at the reception. We walk into the meeting room. It takes away that gut feel of, I think this could be a wasted hour, or do you know what, I'm really looking forward to this hour. I think you get 10 or 15 minutes where both sides can assess each other. I would limit the questions to 3 absolute maximum, and they can be whatever questions you want them to be. And what I would do, if you're using a recruiter to ask these questions for you, I would ensure your recruiter delves deeper on a shorter number of questions. So by that, I mean if you or your recruiter are asking 2 to 3 questions, rather than just accept the answer that comes back. You wouldn't necessarily do that in a face-to-face interview, so don't do it in a video interview. Delve deeper into that answer. Why have they come back with that? Have they got any examples? What numbers can they do to back that up? And I always say to my customers, I know our team do here, is Mr., Miss, Mrs. Client, please don't tell me the answer to the questions because I don't need to know them. I will just dig deep enough that you get a full answer from that candidate. And building rapport, so I mentioned that earlier. I think to get the best out of a video interview, the person on both sides needs to be quite relaxed. So get that initial rapport up, just as you would, as I previously mentioned, from the reception to the interview room. You've got a bit of small talk. How's the weather? What have you been up to? Did you find us okay? Some bit of small talk there where the person feels relaxed on both sides. Look presentable is a very, very key one. So, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's over video, at the end of the day, you are interviewing for a role, for a new position, whether you're the candidate or the client. So if your business operates a casual dress code, I will make sure both parties know that at the start. If you operate a formal dress code, again, I will make sure both parties know that. But I would certainly remain presentable and dress accordingly for that video interview. From an employer perspective, what's your elevator pitch? So that may sound like a bit of a strange one. So you're saying to the employer, sell the business. You'll sell that business to the candidate. The employer may think, I don't need to sell my business to the candidate. If they want to come and work for me, they can. But again, as I mentioned before, candidates will have 2 to 3 different options at any one time on the go in their recruitment process. So it's, why would they pick your business? For me, I'll probably go on a little bit too long about an elevator pitch for our business because I'm quite passionate about it. So I maybe need to rein that in a little bit. But certainly for me, it's all about your elevator pitch, which, as an elevator pitch should be short and brief. I'm trying to look at your notes. That can be quite off-putting from a video interview. A little bit easier face-to-face maybe. But in a video interview, if you're breaking eye contact, if you're looking at your notes, it can be a little bit offsetting for both parties too. Okay, so I'm going to show you a bit of an example solo video interview here.
So here I am, applying to be one of your interns, because the more I think about this idea, the more tremendous I think it is. I love the idea of having a place I can go every day. I want the connection, the excitement, I want to be challenged, and I guess I might even want to be needed. The tech stuff might take a bit to figure out. I had to call my 9-year-old grandson just to find out what a USB connector was. But I'll get there, eager to learn. Also, I want you to know I've been a company man all my life. I'm loyal, I'm trustworthy, and I'm good in a crisis. And I love that you're right here in Brooklyn. I've lived here all my life, and lately I feel I may not be hip enough to live in Brooklyn, so this could help with that too. I read once musicians don't retire. They stop when there's no more music in them. Well, I still have music in me. Absolutely positive about that.
Moving on then, so features to look for in video interviewing software. So as I say, here at Cast UK, we have our chosen platform that we use. We've got that called Broadcast, and we spent a lot of time working on that to make sure it works for our business. So what I would look for if you're going to purchase some video interviewing software, things to be mindful of. So no downtime, and you want live technical support. So what's really useful with our provider is if there's a glitch on the system, we literally click a button on the software, it'll take us straight through to the tech guys, and they will have it fixed in a matter of minutes for us. Multi-device availability, so the ability to record live or solo interviews, either on a desktop, it could be on your mobile phone, it could be on your tablet, it could be on your laptop. We will see many candidates who are nipped out for lunch or have just finished work or before work, will jump on the mobile phone, sat in the car, doing a video interview. Still very professional, still on point, but just gives you that bit of flexibility. I would say you don't want a video interviewing software with sign-ups or downloads. And I think for me, the technology we have that we use, one-click technology, is what you're looking for. So for a candidate or a client to access our video interviewing platform, they literally click on a link that we send them straight into our virtual meeting room. We then, as part of our process, lock that meeting room so nobody else can jump into the interview, and away you go. And then I would make sure that we password protect that as well. So again, I would highly advise that. I know GDPR legislations, which are key, particularly in a recruitment environment with people's personal data. I would always ensure that you have the ability to password protect absolutely everything, and that's absolutely key. So some other features to look at in video interviewing software. So from the candidate attraction side, so yes, you can do a two-way video interview. You can do that as part of your process, but we also have the ability to send personalised HD video messages, whether that be to clients or candidates, straight from our browser. And one of the stats from our provider that I see, and I'll read this out so I don't get it wrong. So personal video messages are proven to increase response rates by over 450%. Compared to standard messaging. And yes, I did double check that and treble check that stat. As I said earlier in the webinar, I like my statistics, so I went and checked that, and that is a true statistic. And I will see our team share replies, particularly from LinkedIn, quite often, day in, day out, where they're going, their clients just not seen that approach before, and we're winning lots of business off that. Additional features, so training and implementation. So again, the biggest impact on this, if you've got video tech, you want to be able to maximize it. You want to be able to use it. You want you or your team being able to get the most out of that. And again, if you're looking at some of the features for training and implementation, I would say would be key. All the data in one place. So again, I called ours Broadcast before, which is our term we've been using for 2 years now. So all of our data, our CVs, our candidate testing and profiling, and the video interview itself is all available in one place. It can be accessed on an app. It can be accessed on our desktops, and it's very, very easy to record. And again, that does help for GDPR purposes as well. Some other features for video interviewing tech is the analytics side of it. So analytics for us is major in what we use our video interviewing for. So we can tell how many times the video has been viewed. We can tell the video was watched to the end. We can tell how many different people have watched it. We can tell if a particular line manager or recruiter is watching a minute, switching off all the time. It just helps your heat maps. It can also help you with biases as well. So again, if that's something you're thinking of in your business that you need to tackle, the analytics behind video interviewing could possibly help you with that. And technical and licensing, so unlimited usage. So you're looking for unlimited interviews, shortlists, solo video interviews, captures. You don't want to limit yourself on that, particularly if you're expecting to do a high number of video interviews. So now I've got another video for you, given the theme is video interviewing. So let me play this short demo video for you now.
60% of hiring managers and recruiters are now using video interviewing in their hiring process. Video interviewing is rapidly overtaking other methods such as telephone interview and face-to-face, and here's some of the reasons why.
We currently use Broadcast, which is very, very simple. It's secure, it's easy to use, and it's a one-click link that you can use anytime, anywhere, mobile device, iPad, or on your laptop.
Broadcast lets you streamline the whole process. It completely reduces the time spent conducting interviews, and there's no travel or meeting time wasted. It helps you review cultural fit quickly. It allows you to assess a candidate's personality early on in the recruitment process, so you can filter out individuals that will fit your culture before even meeting them.
The in-demand candidates you want to interview are likely to be pushed for time, so video interviewing allows them to schedule interviews when works well for them.
It really allows you to get deeper insight and improve decision making in the hiring process.
The candidates' videos, their notes, their CVs, and their psychometric testing results are all in one place with one link. You can share and review the interview with whoever necessary within your organisation, making Broadcast a tool to help make the best choices.
Thank you very much for your time today. I hope you found the webinar on video interviewing of use. I've certainly enjoyed presenting it. I say it's something I am a big believer in. I know our business is a big believer in it too. And what I would say is, after listening to this webinar, if you have any questions at all on this, then please do get in touch.